Hello and welcome to another one take review. This time of the lovely Kato Thalys PBKA, or as she is now, although this is depicting the Thalys model, she is now the Eurostar PBKA. Same train, different name, because Thalys is now part of Eurostar, the same people who run trains under the Channel Tunnel. And you get Kato's lovely bookcase. She's a little bit smaller than the ones I'm used to, namely the one for the Class 800, which is currently on the layout, and this one being the slightly smaller box for the JR Shikoku 2000 series. So what do we get when we open it up? What we get is typical Kato, very well presented. And we get two boxes. Each unit contains 5 vehicles. Box A, Box B. Box A is the first class and the instructions. Which first class you get 1 power car and 1 end vehicle and 3 intermediate vehicles, 2 of which are seated, 1 is the bistro. And the other end you have 4 seated coaches, all second class, and the second power car. This is actually the motorised power car. The other one's a dummy. Right, so let's put the train together. We'll start off with putting on the second class end, because the first class end you have just intermediates with only 1 bogie on the outer end. However, we will put the power car on. Power car does have lights. Tail lights there, I don't know if you can see them. Headlights, tail lights. So we'll turn off, turn the voltage down to the minimum. Right, so let's put that there. And open up the second class. So what do we get when we open the coaches? Well, these can be fitted with lights. As you can see, they've got the pickups there. They go inside, I think they go in this end. I'm not entirely sure. So this is a second class coach, and you'll see above the bogie it has a small tongue, which is independent of the actual bogie pivot. And they go in that gap there. So the coaches themselves are naturally slightly smaller than British outline end gauge, but still very well detailed. And as well with the pickups as well, they are probably quite free running. This is Kato we're talking about. They tend to be quite free rolling. So we have that there to gain access to the underframe and inside the coach. These ones actually require quite a bit of disassembly to take them apart compared to the likes of the 800 where the body just pries off. So although you can get lights, it is a little bit more awkward to fit them by the looks of it. And if you want the lights, the part number for the individual light is Kato 11-213. Or if you want to buy the multi-pack, which I think is 5 or 10, that is 11-214. Right. So of course we get the lovely instruction booklet, which, unlike the one for the Japanese outline, is bilingual. In Japanese, naturally, it's a Kato product. You will always put the Japanese language down, but also in English, which does make me wonder if this item has been sold in France, whether they have a Japanese-French instruction pack, or if it's been sold in Germany, will it be a Japanese and German instruction pack? It'll be interesting to find out. You have at the back the assembly sheet with the parts. I have ordered some spare parts anyway, namely the couplers for the unit, and straight away, as I'm sitting there looking at it, that's how to install the lights. I think she might be DCC compatible using Kato's proprietary DCC system for the European market. Because, where is it? That there looks suspiciously like a blanking plate. Tells you how to couple them up there, and also how to couple them up there. And how to set the pantograph. I've also got myself this I made up to help make sure that I set the pantograph at the correct height. Very useful. So you have a formation diagram there and the information here. So let's put this train together. The dummy power car is already on the track. Now somewhere I have got a slider, but I don't know where it is right now, so we'll have to do things the old-fashioned way. We just place each item on the track. So we're starting at the second. I'm not going to couple the entire set together. What I'm going to do now. So you just slide that into that little gap. As you can see, she's not fully lined up there, and just give them a nice little click. You might have heard that, and that is fairly solid. To take the train apart, just reverse the process and give it a nice, hold the bogey and give it a nice gentle tug, and it'll come across. I mean, eventually it will loosen up if you constantly take them apart. As plastic goes, so you have that there, that there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to couple it up as a 5-car set. So just basically using the 3 standard class, sorry. Actually, yeah, why not? I've got a full 8-car train. I may as well say it's a full 10 vehicle set, but it's 8 passenger coaches. So I may as well use them. Now, unlike the Mark IIIs that Dapple do, you've actually got a proper seating area in the restaurant car. And these, you just stand and mill around by a vending machine. I was watching, I think it was Super Alps Travels, and he was, or was it Simon Anderson? One of the two. Well, it might have been Non-Stop Euro Trip, riding the Thalys. Or was it Planes, Trains and Everything? Because all three have done the Thalys run. And they didn't have particularly nice things to say about the service, it has to be said. Offering premium price tickets for, well, and less than premium style service. Well, that was just their opinion. I mean, I might get myself, if I had a passport, I'm probably going to go down to Europe and jump on a bloody Eurostar Thalys, and I might find I'll probably have a good run. Well, it's each to their own. And I've noticed some of them, although it's not depicted on this particular set, have got at one end on one of the coaches, you have like a small radome thing for Wi-Fi. Well, it might be satellite TV. It's not actually depicted on this model. So that is that one there. And just like coupling up the rest of the Kato stuff, to couple up the end coaches, just line up the couplers, which there we are. And now we will get the power cart and put that on the track. Power cart is essentially the same as the dummy at the other end, naturally. Same couplers, same location. Right. So let's now, there might be some stuttering running on this because this layout hasn't run for a few weeks. This has been too warm up here. So she may not want to run as well as it would do normally. Yeah, she's stuttering a bit. The trap probably needs a good clean. Yeah. So, it was only running earlier on, it was running fine. Yeah, it's a bit dirty. Oh, no. There we go. Yeah, I think the loco just probably picked up a bit of dirt on the wheels. But overall, she's a very good runner. Because I've had it running earlier on, as I said earlier, and it ran absolutely fantastic. There were an issue to start off with, where she just stopped, but her lights were still on, and she just. But now that she's settled down, yeah, so this is a nice model. Is it as good as the Azuma? Time will tell. Is it as good as my E657? Again, time will tell, because E657 has been very, very reliable. But I think the more I run it, she will begin to behave. Now she has got a flywheel motor. If I just take up to there for a moment. And the flywheel, it smooths out the power delivery. So if you've got a slightly dodgy point, it doesn't jerk, it glides over. So here you are, full power. Switch it off. And it just rolls to a stop. It doesn't snap to a stop. Now if end gauges all harmonised like TT120 onto one outline, such as 1 to 160, or it would be a lot better for modelers who like a mix and match of European and UK outline, particularly if you do the channel tunnel model. I mean, these never came up to the channel tunnel, but if you were doing channel tunnel freight, you got these. This is Revolution's class 92. These run down the channel tunnel. And these class 87s modelled here by Dapol, the class 87 has now got a new lease of life in Bulgaria and Hungary. So it would make sense for some continental modelers to produce the 87 and the 86, because they also went to Hungary, into 1 to 1/60th. And obviously coaches to match. But as you can see, I've got a bit of a dead spot there. Come on. So yeah, this track reads a really good clean. Oh yeah, and of course, to set the pantograph, these typically, unless they're running in Holland, I think only have one pan up, which is usually the trailing pantograph. So it would actually be going that way. The Dutch ones being on DC, will probably have one pan at each end lifted. And to lift them, it's just a simple case of just tuck something on this there, and there we go. Yeah, I need to just lower the pantograph down oh so slightly. So as I don't do any damage. Pantographs are available as spare parts, but as with spare parts availability for Kato, it's a bit hit and miss sometimes. You might have to be waiting for spare parts. So the pan is actually set just to be just below the where the contact wire would be. So if we just go down through the station, past my two class 47s, and the nuns. So there you have it. 23 minutes of rambling on about a TGV. I must admit, I do prefer this TGV over the other, the PBA set, the Paris, Brussels, Amsterdam set, which is more like the classic TGV with the stepped front end as opposed to the smoother set front end, which is what this has got. And it was a power car like this that with 3 duplex bi-level power trailer cars, which broke the TGV speed record at 515 kilometers per hour. Was it? No, I think it might be something like 542. Something ridiculous. You know, ridiculous amount of speed that this thing was doing. So there you go. And that's it.